Imagine for a moment that what you desire most in this world is already yours. Do not concern yourself with the means, nor with the facts that deny it. Dwell only in the feeling that it is already so. The world, as you see it, is nothing but a reflection of the arrangement of your inner conversations and assumptions. If you rearrange those, the outer must conform. You are not here to beg or strive or plead with some higher power. You are the operant power. What you assume to be true, though unseen, will harden into fact if you persist in the assumption. It is not your task to figure out how it will come to pass. It is only your task to live from the end, to feel it from the end. Not with hope, not with desire, not with need, but with the calm knowing that it already is. Do not seek, for to seek is to affirm its absence. To claim something is to already possess it. So, assume the tone of certainty. Assume the tone of fulfillment. Ask yourself not, when will it come? But rather, is this not wonderful? It has happened. Let your inner speech, your reactions, your conversations, all reflect the state of the wish fulfilled. If you would walk differently with your dream realized, walk that way now. If your inner tone would shift into joy, gratitude, relief, then dwell in that vibration as naturally as you breathe. What you feel deeply and believe to be true with consistency must outpicture itself in your world. Every condition of your life is the echo of a previous inner state. Nothing comes from outside, everything comes from within. So instead of wrestling with appearances, revise them in your imagination. Assume the best, feel the best. Become the version of yourself who already possesses it. There is no power outside of you deciding your fate. You are the one who decrees a thing, and the world simply echoes your decree. If your inner world is confused, hesitant, or double-minded, your outer world must mirror that. But if your inner world is firm in the conviction that your desire is already yours, then no delay, no obstacle, no fact can deny you. When you dare to live as though your dream is your present reality, you call it forth into form. You plant it like a seed in the soil of your imagination, and through sustained feeling, you water it. Persist, even when nothing seems to change. Persist, for what you accept as true in the unseen must become seen. Do not be fooled by delay, nor discouraged by appearances. Every time you return to the end, every time you feel it real, you are bringing it closer to visibility. And one day, perhaps when you least expect, it will appear so naturally, so effortlessly, you'll wonder how it could have ever felt uncertain. Live now as the one who already has it. Let every thought, every feeling, every act be that of the fulfilled self. Then you will know the secret that imagining creates reality. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled mentally and emotionally as if your desire is already realized. This assumption shapes reality. Imagination is the creative power. Your external world reflects your inner state. What you persistently imagine must manifest. You are the operant power. There is no external force deciding your fate. Your assumptions, beliefs, and feelings create your experience. Live from the end, not toward it. Do not seek or hope for your desire. Dwell in the certainty that it is already yours. Persistence overrules appearances. Ignore what is currently visible and persist in the inner vision. Reality will conform to your sustained belief. The power of assumption, living from the end, to assume the feeling of the front is not mere daydreaming. It is the deliberate, conscious act of claiming your desire as a present reality. It means stepping beyond hope, bypassing doubt, and resting fully in the state of already having. This is not a passive belief, but an active inner knowing that what you imagined is already yours. The moment you take your desire from the realm of possibility and place it firmly in the realm of certainty, without needing to see any external evidence, you begin to influence reality at its deepest level. Everything begins within. Reality is not pushed from the outside in, it flows from the inside out. Your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions are the seeds that grow into the world you see. To live mentally and emotionally as if your desire is already fulfilled means that your inner conversations, reactions, and self-talk must align with the version of you who already possesses it. You must think from the wish, not of the wish. If you want wealth, you do not think about becoming wealthy. You live and feel as one who is already wealthy. If love is your desire, you do not wait to feel loved. You radiate the feeling of being cherished and wanted. This is the core secret to all creation. What you feel to be true, consistently and deeply, becomes your world. Many fall into the trap of hoping, yearning, and seeking. But to hope is to admit lack. To yearn is to affirm distance. And to seek endlessly is to never arrive. Instead, take the bold leap into assumption. Assume the best. Assume your wish is already fulfilled. And then rest in that assumption. You must embody the state of your desire so completely that it becomes natural. When your imagined reality feels more real to you than the external facts, you are on the path to manifestation. Outer facts are shadows of previous assumptions. They are not fixed truths, but temporary reflections. You do not need to fight or resist them. Only withdraw your attention from them and place it upon your desired state. This is not pretending or fooling yourself. It is a higher level of awareness. It is understanding that imagination is the only creative force in the universe. You are not subject to circumstances. You are the source of them. And the moment you fully accept that, you step into true creative power. So how do you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled? Begin by imagining a scene that implies your desire is already true. See it clearly in your mind, hear the sounds, feel the atmosphere. Most importantly, feel the emotion you would feel if it were real right now. Dwell in that feeling. Saturate your mind with it. Let it become your new mental home. Carry that feeling into your waking life. Let your inner tone match the fulfillment of your desire. Walk as if. Speak as if. Think as if. React as if. Each time you return to that state, you are impressing your subconscious with a new reality. And the subconscious, which accepts feeling over fact, will eventually move the necessary pieces to bring your assumption into form. Consistency is key. One moment of doubt, of entertaining the opposite, can delay the process. But persistent faith, faith not in something outside, but in the unseen reality already existing within, guarantees results. Every great change begins with an inner movement. Every miracle begins with an assumption. You need not figure out the how. The bridge of incidents will appear. The people, the circumstances, the coincidences, they will unfold naturally. Your only task is to remain faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled. This is how you become the master of your reality, not by force, but by assumption. By choosing to dwell in the reality you wish to experience, you give life to it. And the world, being a mirror, has no choice but to reflect your inner world back to you. Imagination is the master key to reality. Imagination is not idle fantasy or escapism. It is the creative power through which all things are made. Everything you see around you, every object, every experience, every condition was once first imagined. Before it was visible, it was felt and conceived in the unseen realm of thought. The world you live in is nothing more than the outpicturing of what you have accepted as true within yourself. The secret lies in understanding that your imagination is not separate from reality. It is reality in its formative state. When you persistently imagine something with feeling and belief, you are giving it life. What you imagine with intensity and consistency becomes a blueprint that your subconscious mind accepts as real. And once accepted, it begins to externalize that image through a series of natural, yet often unexpected events. Your external world is a mirror. It reflects back to you the arrangement of your inner world. If you dwell in lack, fear, or limitation in your imagination, you will find those same conditions mirrored in your daily life. But if you live inwardly in abundance, confidence, and fulfillment, your outer life must reshape itself to match that inner pattern. It cannot do otherwise. Everything originates in consciousness. The invisible thoughts, assumptions, and inner dialogues you entertain day to day are the causes behind the visible circumstances of your life. Most people believe life happens to them. But the truth is, life happens through them. Imagination is the womb of creation, and every man and woman is its creator. Whether consciously or unconsciously, when you deliberately use your imagination to dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire, you are planting seeds in the fertile ground of your subconscious. These seeds, when nourished by sustained feeling and repetition, must grow. The manner in which they grow, the how of their manifestation, is not your concern. Leave that to the wisdom of your deeper self. Your role is to imagine with clarity, consistency, and emotional conviction. You must learn to see with the inner eye. Do not rely on the senses to confirm your desire. The senses can only report what is already formed. Imagination sees what can be and brings it into being. The unseen imagined state is far more powerful than the seen fact because it is the origin of all facts. This creative power is not reserved for the special, the talented, or the spiritually elite. It is given to all equally. It operates in every one of us, whether we acknowledge it or not. But those who consciously use their imagination to construct the world they desire rise above limitation and circumstance. They no longer react to life, they create it. To utilize this power, you must learn to quiet the mind and enter into a state of receptivity. In this relaxed, drowsy condition, just before sleep or upon waking, you can impress the subconscious more easily. In that moment, imagine vividly a scene that implies the fulfillment of your wish. Feel it, live in it, let it become natural. Then detach and trust. The more often you do this, the more real it becomes. Repetition builds belief, and belief, when mixed with emotion, is the substance of manifestation. Understand your imagination is not fiction. It is the beginning of fact. What you persistently imagine with feeling becomes your life. All things are possible to the one who dares to imagine boldly and then lives from that imagined truth. This is the law. The inner creates the outer. The invisible becomes visible. You need only look at your current life to discover what you've been imagining unconsciously. And you need only change your imagination to change your world. All power is within, and imagination is the instrument. Use it wisely, deliberately, and with unwavering faith, and the world will reshape itself according to your inner command. You hold the creative reins of your reality. There is no power outside of you determining your fate. No external force, no distant authority, no mysterious destiny governs your life. You are the operant power. What you assume to be true, believe to be possible, and feel to be real creates your experience. You are the cause. Life responds to your inner state, not to your wishes, not to your prayers alone, but to the belief and feeling behind them. To be the operant power means taking full responsibility for the world you experience. It means recognizing that your reality is not happening to you. It is unfolding through you. The thoughts you nurture, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you dwell in are silently shaping every event, condition, and relationship in your life. This is not a burden, but a liberation. For if you are also the pure, when you understand that your assumptions are creative, you stop waiting for change to come from the outside. You no longer depend on luck, on timing, or on other people's permission to live the life you desire. You turn within where all power resides, and you begin to shape the world by changing your inner conversations. It is not enough to merely wish for something. You must assume it. You must step into the state of being the one who already has what they desire. Your assumption, once accepted by the subconscious mind, must manifest, because your inner world and your outer world are perfectly synchronized. What you deeply believe and persistently feel will crystallize into facts. Many live in bondage to circumstances, believing they are victims of chance, fate, or the actions of others. But these are only shadows of past thoughts and beliefs. The outer world is delayed reflection. If you change the cause, the inner state, the effect must also change. This is the law of consciousness. To live as the operant power is to discipline your mind. You become aware of your thoughts, not to judge them, but to guide them. You choose your assumptions deliberately. You guard your inner speech because you know it is planting seeds. You no longer speak of lack, limitation, or delay because you do not wish to perpetuate them. This is not mere positive thinking. It is conscious creation. It is understanding that whatever you consent to in imagination, especially with feeling, becomes your lived reality. There is no need to force or manipulate the outer world. There is only the need to accept a new reality within and to remain faithful to it. When doubt arises, and it will, you do not argue with it. You return to your chosen state. You reaffirm your assumption. You persist. The world may appear unchanged, but it is already in motion. The bridge of incidents, invisible at first, is forming. And if you remain true to your vision, you will walk that bridge to the fulfillment of your desire. Do not look outside for proof. Look inside for power. Your consciousness is the light that forms the picture. Your feeling is the energy that animates it. If you want to know what you truly believe, look at what surrounds you now. And if you want to change it, do so by changing your assumption. You are the operant power, not because you command the world, but because you command yourself. Your ability to choose your thoughts, to feel your wish fulfilled, and to persist in that feeling is what sets the creative process in motion. When you live from this understanding, you no longer plead, wish, or wait. You assume. You imagine. You persist. And the world conforms, not because it was forced, but because it always mirrors the dominant state of the one observing it. So take your rightful place as the creator of your experience. Nothing is beyond your reach if you dare to believe it is already yours. The art of living from the end to live from the end is to mentally and emotionally inhabit the state where your desire is already fulfilled. It is not striving, wishing, or hoping, but being. It is the inner acceptance that what you desire is already yours right now. Not tomorrow, not one day, not when the circumstances change, but now in the unseen reality of your imagination. And because incarnation is the only creative power, that unseen reality, once persisted in, must eventually become seen. When you live toward your desire, you often separation from it. You say, in effect, I do not yet have this. And so you perpetuate the state of not having. Every time you think of it as a goal to reach or something out there to chase, you push it further away. You energize the distance between you and your desire. But when you live from your desire, you close the gap. You begin to embody the version of yourself who already possesses what you once sought. You think from it, feel from it, and respond to life as that version of you. This simple but powerful shift from pursuit to possession is what makes all the difference in manifestation. Living from the end is a complete change in self-identity. It is the internal acceptance of your new state before any external confirmation appears. It is not pretending or make-believing. It is creative knowing. You no longer try to get the thing. You become the person who already has it. You think their thoughts, feel their emotions, and react to life as they would. This means your reactions are your greatest indicators. Are you reacting from lack, fear, or waiting? Or are you reacting from fullness, gratitude, and certainty? If your reactions still reflect absence, it is a sign that you're not yet living from the end. But if you can feel the satisfaction of fulfillment, even in the absence of physical evidence, then you are truly aligned with your desire. The key is to make the imaginal state more real to you than the facts of the physical world. The world of facts is only a delayed echo of your previous inner states. It has no creative power. It only reflects. You must not allow appearances to shake your inner conviction. Persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled and the outer world will inevitably conform. Imagine the scene that would be true if your wish were now a fact. Feel the joy, the peace, the relief of that scene as if you were living it this very moment. Return to it often, especially in the quiet moments before sleep and upon waking. Let it become your natural dwelling place. Let it be more than a visualization. Let it become a state of being. When doubts arise, and they will, you do not fight them. You simply return to the end. You reaffirm the feeling of already having. You don't need to see how it will come. You need only know that it has come in the invisible world of consciousness. And that world governs this one. Living from the end is an act of faith. Not blind faith, but creative faith. It is the understanding that your assumption, when held persistently and felt deeply, must become fact. You are not hoping. It's done. You are not waiting. It's yours. You are not seeking. You are being. You will know you are living from the end when peace replaces urgency, when gratitude replaces longing, and when confidence replaces doubt. In that state, manifestation is no longer your goal. It becomes the natural outcome of who you are being. So stop reaching. Stop chasing. Begin to dwell in the state of already having. Think, feel, and live from the fulfilled state. And the world, being a mirror, will return to you the reflection of your new self-concept. The power of persistence in the face of appearances. The visible world is not the truth. It is only a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. To live by appearances is to be enslaved by what was not what is possible. If you truly desire to reshape your reality, you must learn to look beyond the evidence of the senses and persist in the inner vision of your fulfilled desire. Persistence overrules appearances, always. The great secret is that reality is malleable. It is not fixed. It bends to the force of sustained imagination. But most people give up too soon. They glance at their current circumstances, see no change, and assume their desire will not come. In doing so, they fall back into the old state, the state of lack, and the cycle continues. But those who persist, regardless of what they see, are the ones who bring the unseen into form. To persist means to remain faithful to an inner assumption, even when everything outside contradicts it. It means to feel rich when your bank account says otherwise, to feel loved when no one calls, to feel successful when the results are absent. This is not delusion, It is spiritual discipline. It is the conscious choice to remain in the state of the wish fulfilled, no matter what appearances suggest. You do not need to fight the outer world. You do not need to explain or justify yourself. You simply remain. You persist. You return again and again to the feeling of the end. Each time you do, you deepen the imprint upon the subconscious mind, and that mind, being faithful, will externalize your belief in its own perfect way. Understand this. The outer world always lags behind the inner world. There is a delay between the planting of a seed and the appearance of the fruit. Would a farmer dig up the seed because nothing sprouted in a day? No. He waters it, nurtures it, and trusts the process. Your imagination works in the same way. It is the soil of creation. And persistence is the water that ensures the seed will grow. Every time you return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when nothing seems to be happening, you are moving mountains in the unseen. You are shifting reality at the root. You are impressing your deeper mind with a new truth. And once impressed, it must express. When appearances tempt you to doubt, remind yourself, this is old news. This is simply the residue of previous thoughts. I am creating a new. And then return, not with desperation, but with quiet confidence, to the inner state that implies your desire is now real. You are not trying to force anything. You are not begging. You are simply being. Let the outer world do what it does. Let time pass. Let others doubt. None of it matters. You remain in the end. You keep the vision alive. You allow the feeling to saturate your being until it becomes natural. That is the moment manifestation becomes inevitable, not when the world changes, but when you do. Persistence is not hard work. It is focused attention. It is gentle, consistent inner discipline. It is turn away from what is and turning toward what will be, until what will be becomes what is. It is knowing that the world must yield to the one who is steadfast in vision. You will be tempted to react, to worry, to question. But in those moments, you have a choice. Will you believe what you see, or will you believe what you know? The persistent imaginer chooses the latter. And because of that, reality bends to their command. So persist. Persist when it's slow. Persist when it's silent. Persist when appearances scream the opposite. For your sustained belief is the true creative force, not effort, not timing, not logic. Reality must conform not to what you want, but to what you consistently assume and feel to be true. This is the quiet power of persistence. Dare to believe in the reality of your unseen assumption. Rest in the feeling that what you desire is already yours, and let that feeling become the atmosphere in which you live. For you are not a passive observer in this world. You are its cause. Your imagination, fused with feeling, is the only creative power there is. You do not need to wait for signs, nor ask permission from the world. The world will reflect you faithfully, but only after you have claimed your desire inwardly with full conviction. Persist in that inner knowing. Occupy the state of the wish fulfilled and make it your dwelling place. Turn entirely away from appearances and live in the end. Ignore what the senses say and trust the unseen reality you have conceived within. If you remain loyal to that state, if you feel it, believe it, and return to it again and again, it must externalize. All things exist now. Creation is finished. The only question is, which version of yourself will you choose to embody? Choose wisely. Feel it real and live as though it were impossible to fail. For indeed, in imagination, nothing is impossible.